Alright, we're live.
What's up, everybody? It's Comics Addiction.
And I'm Matt.
The Irishman. We need to come up with a better name than that.
Whatever he wants to do.
So today we're basically going to be talking about cartoons, comics, etc., like it says. The first thing, I guess mainly we're going to be talking about is what shaped us to go towards comics, our first experience going to a comic book store, his first experience, and having a brew.
Will we have whiskey first? Oh, I'm sorry.
We were supposed to.
Whatever, I'm thirsty.
You don't have whiskey?
It don't matter. No one's eating yet, so.
Screw it. Well, they're still watching. Yeah, I'll put a little of whiskey.
Remember, always drink your liquor before your beer.
I've never been sicker.
Yeah. Beer before liquor, never sicker. Isn't that the same? Matilda, what's up, Matilda? John is getting
What's up, Matilda?
more he's getting more liquor, so. bear with us as we
I'm Matilda.
try not to get
Basically, we're talking about we're gonna be talking about comics, cartoons. Basically, shaped our lives as kids.
What started it all for us.
Yeah, because I noticed that some of our, I don't want to call them older, more mature fellow YouTubers, they share their stories about certain books or, when it all first started. So we want to talk about what shaped our lives a little bit on the
How we became
90s.
such geeks of this culture.
like comic.
The whiskey in the comic.
It almost, but I'm not drunk yet. So we're drinking Macallan whiskey, and I'm drinking a Fireman Blonde Ale,
And I'm drinking Dirty Blonde.
Dirty Blonde.
Citrus
Alright.
Amber.
That's the first time we've heard that. So this one actually supports the firefighters, so my support to them.
This one supports Dirty Blondes. I support them.
He supports them.
Careful, being number one. Yeah, exactly.
Did I bust that in? Okay.
This is why you keep sleeves on them. Just.
You bag and board your books. In case something idiot like me splashes some whiskey right next to the damn comic. I don't know why. I didn't think about that. I gave you very little.
Well, you want the.
I got the Lord of the Rings.
I got air.
So,
Alright, so.
I'll give you a little bit of backstory before I drink this. Before I got into comics, I was a little kid, single mother.
You were a single mother?
My mother was a single mother, and she took care of two, and my uncle. So we were too broke to afford comics to even think of anything else other than let's just put some plate on the food for today and worry about the next day.
Some plate on the food.
Some food on the plate.
He hasn't drank yet, guys. That's right.
This is live. So I didn't know what comics were, and luckily I started watching TV when we could afford a TV around like 7, 8 years old, and man, I'll go more into detail about that, and I'll let him talk about backstory how.
Oh, yeah. The same thing. When I was a kid, couldn't afford much. Like, I didn't know much about comics at all. Besides, like, my mom telling me about, oh yeah, in the newspaper, there's these, peanut gang and all this stuff,
It's really funny.
It's really funny, alright, yeah. And then, TV-wise, I think we had cable for like a little bit, but then apparently I was staying up 24/7 watching Cartoon Network, so they didn't like that. And they got rid of it.
Cartoon Network.
But we really couldn't afford it anyway. It was a luxury we really couldn't afford. We had a small TV, and yeah. Why are you advertising? We're not getting paid for this. We're just people ask sometimes, what are we drinking?
Oh. Well, this is mainly because it supports the firefighters, so I thought that was really cool.
So definitely, we're not getting paid for this or anything like that. It just some people asked last time stuff. What are we drinking? So we just did it first off.
Matilda. By the way, beer. When it comes to beer, I don't want it to be complete bitter. Where, yeah, it's a manly beer. No, it's just I like beer that's just beer. See Woodard, what's up, man? My friend right here. I think
Hello.
you met him last time. The Irishman. I'm just calling him the Irishman.
Yeah.
So we're talking basically about what got us into comics, what shaped our childhood.
Yeah.
And C. Woodard, I know you'll definitely relate. Matilda, I'm not sure because I know you said you don't watch as much TV, but it was 90s cartoons. 90s cartoons, I remember we had this TV where all of my cousins and I would just hang out and watch the run of episodes.
Like you got basic channels. You got 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. You know, no cable whatsoever. So of course, what was it Fox Channel 11, and then WB Channel 5 Saturday morning cartoons. So I mean, so every kid look forward to.
Yeah, it's a shame that there's no such thing as Saturday cartoons. Not that I know. I've scrolled through the channels, believe me, I have. I'm not sure why exactly they got taken out, whether it's licensing or whatever with Disney, Marvel, and whatnot. But we're going to talk about the list of cartoons.
That's right. I see with X-Men.
So
I remember I was at work one time. I was seeing it across each other.
we happened to be humming like such an alright, so we'll jump into it, you know. The first cartoon was Spider-Man, the 90s Spider-Man. I remember.
Yeah, 90s, not the one before that.
I know back then it could have been cool for other people, but for us it was the 90s cartoons, which 90s Spider-Man. We had Hydro Man, which there's gonna be spoilers to this if you guys have never seen.
It's a 90s cartoon.
Yeah. I remember when Mary Jane died, and I was like, nah, she didn't die. It's a Hydro Man.
Good. Oh, sorry.
Dirty blonde. You had Morbius. That's how I started learning about characters.
Yeah, Madam Web.
Madam Web, the Punisher. When Spider-Man turned to this 8-legged freak, I was like, the hell's going on? And then you had the Punisher trying to hunt him down.
When Blade came out, I didn't know who Blade was at the time. So.
Blade was good. Then they had the crossover with X-Men. By the way, I have notes because there's just too much. There's a crossover with X-Men. We were talking about it, we were like, holy crap, remember when Wolverine just hated for no reason?
Like he just tried to kill Spider-Man. It was great. I mean,
you mutant Wombi. He was like, get out, you don't belong on my cartoon.
And the Sentinels attacked just with those purple Sentinels. Like,
yeah, those are good. The other cartoon was, like you said, Woodard, Comic Bags. Hey, what's up, man? Ooh, Bueller, what's up, man? How you doing?
So your first was Batman. That is a great one.
Oh, HME3, what's up? Alright, we got some action going on. We're gonna fall behind, guys, because this is our second time. So, the other cartoon was X-Men, of course. You know, that's how I learned about Jubilee. I thought she was the coolest character, which I still think she is.
Yeah, I mean,
just her
her
powers really suck.
It's fireworks.
Hey, 4th of July, I would hit her. I'd be like, hey, I need you to come and just do like a little light show. Some sparklers.
I was telling him, like, X-Men, like, I really got into X-Men. Like, my parents, every now and then, they could buy, like, a little story of X-Men. And I got this, like, magazine kind of book. And it had, like, 50 different mutants in it. And it was told their explanations, what they can do, what their powers. And I was, like, as a kid, I was like, oh, my God, this is amazing.
Anyone remember Morph on that show?
Morph?
You know what? I can't remember Morph. But now I feel like looking him up. Who was he? Because I remember, like, the main character, Nightcrawler, Cyclops. I don't know about you guys, but when I went to school, elementary, everybody loved Cyclops, Genie, even though Wolverine was a popular character in comics. For the youngsters, I could say it because I was in school and I remember people would talk crap to me about being a fan of Wolverine. I was like, yeah, he's short, yeah, whatever, but he doesn't take crap. The only one thing I had beef with Wolverine is, when is he going to learn he can't do anything to Magneto?
He's never going to.
Every time he would go, Magneto's just like, okay, get out of my way. and it was good times. I love that cartoon.
He was literally created for the show, so basically he got killed off episode 1. Well, maybe that's why we don't remember.
You know what? I'm gonna have to look up episode 1 on YouTube. Hopefully they have it.
He said he came back later, so I mean.
Oh, okay.
But you're right, like many characters, you know, they just create them and then
Kill him.
kill them off.
The other, well, this one I want to touch up on just because I can't remember as much. We were talking about it too. Is the Ninja Turtles? When I started watching it, they got replaced by what I thought was a really great show, the Street Sharks, which later I realized was a rip off of Ninja Turtles.
But we all loved it. Well, we did at least. But that's because Ninja Turtles, like the one we watched, it came out in like the late '80s, and it was like super G rated, like PG and G. Like they were fighting giant carrot monsters and stuff like that, and broccolis, and I remember all that stuff. It was super friendly. Which they end up having later on another Ninja Turtle cartoon. I don't remember the time.
They did.
Yeah, but I remember at the end or sometime in that series, I watched the episode, and they kind of put all the Ninja Turtles together. They had the friendly ones, and then they had the super like kick-ass ones where it was all black and white, and they were like, "I'm going to murder people."
I don't remember that.
I clearly remember that.
So Steve Woodard's actually a huge Ninja Turtles fan. He has these awesome framed posters.
Oh, nice.
It looks sick. But what really got me into Ninja Turtles, I don't know if you guys, Bueller maybe, the Ninja Turtles movie.
Yeah. Even though the first one was super depressing.
It was dark.
It was.
There was violence. There was Raphael and
Casey Jones.
Leonardo.
Oh, Leonardo.
Yeah, remember they were kind of arguing about who should be leader. You got the hothead, and then you got the level-headed guy.
And then like there's one scene on there I forgot what turtle it is, but they laugh and they put their head back and you can see the dude inside the mask. It's the creepiest thing I saw as a kid. I was like, I wish I never saw that.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, Turtles Forever. That's right.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, one thing we're talking about is why didn't they make more comic movies back then? But now that we're older, we're like Captain America. Period. That was not a great movie. Howard the Duck.
Yeah, superhero movies require a lot of CG to make them feel like they're in a comic book and they're superhuman and everything. So definitely, they did not have the capability of doing it like they do today. I was telling him I just watched again Wolverine Origins that was on TV the other day, and man, did that movie suck. I mean, the CG was just terrible. Like his legs didn't even look like they were attached to his hand.
I think the CG is the least of the worries.
That too.
Now we're gonna jump on DC, but DC, that's something that was huge for me. Even though in comics I kind of started following Marvel a little bit more, but
like in the beginning, I didn't know Marvel and DC.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, cartoons, awesome. Like I'm a kid, I don't know any of this stuff.
Yeah, I remember. Michael, you just need to tap me. What? All right. Somebody needs naked chicks.
I can agree with you 100%.
So I remember, I was not the biggest fan of Superman. I was like, whatever.
I was.
But when I saw the cartoon, well, actually, the first thing I saw was cartoons. But then I saw the movies and I thought it was whatever. But in cartoons, I remember the epic battles with Metallo, the crossover with Batman when Superman just looks through him. It's like, you're Bruce Wayne. Alright, cool.
Which crossovers make everything so much better.
It does,
I mean,
it's so much fun. And then you see Batman he's a creeper when you think about it. He's right there with those little binoculars just staring him down. Like, I see you too. You're Clark Kent.
Like, I watched the Superman's cartoons, but they weren't my favorite. Now, Batman Beyond, those are dark and those are awesome.
So,
and they just, I don't know, the whole story just was great. With Superman, like, I fell in love with him with the comics, but then I kind of didn't later on because I guess I guess I was reading the wrong comics. He got too soft. Then my friend later on in college, she handed me a comic book with Superman. She's like, read this. And basically just Superman is a badass character.
Until I met the guy who filmed Transformers.
I just heard half naked chicks, and I agree with you. It's okay.
2001. So, you know what? Based on that, I would like to say that became my first main favorite. My favorite superhero, which is Batman. When I saw that cartoon, I was right there. I couldn't miss an episode. It felt like there was thousands of episodes, even though there's not like.
It wasn't.
It's not like 100.
Like honestly, like I thought like the Spider-Man episodes went on forever. It was only like 50 something episodes.
The one thing I remember about Batman is, which I do want to do a separate live stream about, going really into detail of each animated series, and the Batman one that really sticks in my head.
Yes, Matilda. I see your comment. You keep talking.
The one that really gets in my head is when Batgirl died. I don't know if you guys remember. You know, she fell down a building, goes right into a cop car, and it's Gordon who sees his own daughter dying right in his hands, and he looks at Batman, and he's like, "You," and just hunts him down. When I was actually at the live panel, I wanted to ask them, like, did you guys have to make it more PG? Like, did they WB tell you tone it down a little bit because that's way too dark? So at the end, there's a twist ending where, of course, it was a Scarecrow put the gas on her face and she was just dreaming and hallucinating really bad.
The beer got you.
It is the beer. Maybe the whiskey.
Maybe. He wanted to start out with whiskey.
Poor Man Comics. That's a great show. Animaniacs.
Yeah, not superheroes, but God, I love that. I heard they're supposed to make a movie about that soon too.
The Hello Nurse.
Yeah. But going back to Batman, like after that they made Batman Beyond, and at first I was on the fence about it, but after watching it, I was like, this is awesome. I can't get enough of this. I was still a kid at the time. So.
If you watch that, if you guys ever have a chance to watch, or if you have seen it, the opening scene where you see he's still a buff Batman, but he's a little bit slower, and right in the middle of the fight, a heart attack. I was like,
he's
what's going on?
He's dying.
He hasn't done. And he pulls out a
at
gun.
That point, and John was like, my childhood. No, he's dying.
Hey, Poor Man Comics, how you doing, man? Poor Man Comics, they all have really awesome books. Yeah, my childhood I was like heartbroken. He pulls out a gun, and I was like, nah, you're not supposed to use a gun, man.
Don't tell Batman what you can do.
And so, you see him, he has these streaks of gray hair, disappears, and all of a sudden it's a futuristic city. Terry McGinnis is just a little, excuse my language, but he's a dickhead. And he's kind of rude. He thinks he's this badass. But you know, when you see his father pass away, he gets killed by the Jokers. Who else?
I like how they kept the whole Jokers, and I mean, you saw a little bit of all the old like villains in the show, which was pretty cool. That like they kind of just evolved in a way.
Yeah.
With little hints there, like the little Joker twins were Harley's daughters and everything like that. Which I think she got mad and beat the shit out of them one time because she felt they failed on the mission.
I'm gonna throw one real quick that you guys.
Go ahead, keep talking.
I'm gonna throw one in that you guys probably forgot about, and that's Static Shock. Static Shock was a really underrated cartoon that a lot of people just I don't know if they refused to watch or just kind of ignored it, didn't feel the vibe or the style of the cartoon.
I love that cartoon.
That cartoon's amazing, especially when they did that one crossover. He joins Justice League. There's another one he's seen that I can't remember.
Yeah, it's Justice League. Is it Ultimate or Unlimited? It's been a while since I watched it. But when they went into the future, and Static Shock was part of the Justice League, and he was like the strongest member because all the other ones were kind of dead, and he was this older dude, but he was kicking ass. And when I saw him, it was just yes, they made him one.
What's up, Grey Legend? It's Grey Legend. It's Matt the Irishman. I'm gonna keep on saying it, so we're trying to come up with a different name for him. Yeah, Static Shock was a really good show, popular show. Poor Man Comics, I hope you picked up those books just for the memories. I picked up a couple of Animaniacs. Matilda, I remember the Iron Man cartoon, it's just, I don't remember it as well.
Honestly, I just remember little bits of it. I don't think I watched it. I need something with like more punching.
More violence.
A little more violence.
The Dark Knight did it.
Yeah, the Dark Knight got me there. Like, oh, he's beating the crap out of him. I can sit down and watch this.
I forgot to mention one thing, and that's about Superman. The first time I saw Lobo beats the crap out of Superman, I was like, who is this guy? This guy's badass. And, yeah, that was such a good cartoon. One that, I don't know why it just got cut off completely. I remember I was like, wait, where's the next new show? And that was new episode, and that was Teen Titans.
Teen Titans, did they really cut it off or did it end?
I think it got cut off.
Because I know when they added the movie, the Tokyo movie, they were talking like that's it. So maybe that was just their last little goodbye.
I think that was the form of saying goodbye because the way it got cut off on the regular season shows. Because when I was not a big fan of Teen Titans Go until my son started watching, I was like, I'll give it a shot.
I'm still not a fan.
And when there's this part where they're like, you guys are about to get cut, and they show the original Teen Titans, and then it just ends. Robin's like, no! He's like, why? Why would you do that? It's such a great show.
But Teen Titans ended.
Oh, it did? I have to look up the episode then, because I thought it just ended. Not. Maybe you're talking about Teen Titans Go, because it's a question mark.
Oh, but
Teen Titans Go still.
When Teen Titans, the original Teen Titans anime series came out, I was so excited because I believe Justice League basically was done. So it's like, this is the next, series I need to watch that about comic book heroes and everything like that. And I didn't know anything about Teen Titans, besides like Robin, maybe a little bit of Cyborg, but the other ones I had no clue about. So I was like, low kid on the edge of the seat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one time where I actually cared about Robin. When he was fighting Slade Wilson. You guys know who Marvel ripped that off from? So Deathstroke. I don't remember what cartoon called.
Pro
Stars? No.
I do not.
I don't remember. I've never heard of Pro Stars. Sadly, if it was on regular TV, and I should have seen it.
Pro Stars, no.
Because I was on Saturday morning cartoons all day. My mom got mad, but
it was our day off from school.
It's your parents' duty to get mad at you.
As he gets mad at his son.
Yes. One of the last good shows, I'm sure there was a couple more that I'm forgetting, was Justice League. And Justice League Unlimited.
Oh yeah, those were great. I mean,
when you finally had that epic, all of them together, it was awesome. I was like, I don't know, you guys could do this. And it worked perfectly well. Like, they went from fighting certain villains that were hard to beat on their own to fighting gods that were just could destroy planets.
Well, like I said before, DC Universe is just full of gods. Like that's what they are. They're gods. Come on.
Yeah.
But even after Justice League ended and then the Unlimited came out and they got more superheroes, I was like, oh my god, like a little schoolgirl. I was just all giddy.
That's an awesome name. He said it was a team of sports players: Jordan, Bo Jackson, and Gretzky. Wait, were the actual athletes were the animated?
Really?
I remember the Mighty Ducks.
Yes, I actually watched the Mighty Ducks. I like that. I love that cartoon.
I remember Double Dragon. Don't forget about Double Dragon. It's not comic related, but
Jackie Chan Adventures.
Oh man, Jackie Chan. I'm sure they made a comic of that. I'm gonna look for that.
I'm sure they did. I mean, more money. Why not?
The Justice League episodes with a question are my favorite.
Oh yeah, Justice League. I mean, what I liked is that they were basically 2 episodes, but it was played an hour length. So I mean, you got the whole hour, and it made for such a better episode.
Yeah.
I think each time. And then at the end too, like the first Justice League, I think the last episodes were when Hot Girls, her planet was gonna come take over or destroy planet Earth, so she had to make that choice. And Justice League was against her, and Green Lantern's like, no, my boo. And then,
Oh really? Poor man, I won't have to look that up. Double Dragon is in comic form.
Now I know what he's gonna buy now.
Now you know I'm gonna look for that and show it as soon as I find it. Justice League was really good. I think they made a. Did they make a Supergirl?
Yeah, they made the Supergirl. She ended up after a couple episodes, though she went to a different universe or dimension or something.
Yeah.
But they even made a Power Girl, which is basically a clone of Supergirl. So
Yeah. Bizarro. There were so many comic book characters that, like I said, I didn't.
the first one was Green Arrow, I believe, when the first episode of Justice League Unlimited was started. Green Arrow as the new hero. So, and then it slowly, Red Tornado, all the other ones.
Disappears slow.
Yeah. X-Men Evolution, that's right. That was a great cartoon. I actually was sad when that went off because I was hoping that was going to continue. I don't even remember the ending too when they fought Apocalypse.
Yeah.
I don't remember the ending. I gotta look that up.
I think they were younger, right? They were in high school.
They were in high school.
They were in high school. I remember that.
I remember the close to the end, or if not the ending episodes, where they went against Apocalypse, and I was like, I want to know what happened. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think the Blob comes out, and I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah, seriously, honest.
Oh, they beat Apocalypse.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. That's what I figured, but like I just couldn't remember, and that was such a great cartoon too. I loved it.
Yeah, I remember this art, or the style, the way they drew the characters. It was different compared to old school '90s X-Men. So I was like, don't like it. Third
Oh, yeah?
episode. All right, you know what? I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, I think it took me a couple episodes to be like, you know what, I love this.
The one I did not like was Batman. I forgot what's it called, where the Joker looks like a actual jester. He has a crazy hair. I don't know what's going on with it. He looks like a palm tree.
Which one's that?
It was one of the newer Batmans. It was around like 2000 maybe.
Oh, I know. Which one.
That wasn't it.
Did the Batman have like tiny little ears?
He did.
Oh, I remember that one. That people loved that one. I never got into it.
I couldn't.
People loved it though, but I just couldn't get into it. I guess I was growing older and maybe it just fit more for a younger audience.
Oh, the Batman.
The Batman.
I couldn't get into it. I just could not, and that was towards the end of an era for me. Actually, one I forgot to mention.
Because that came out, we were like in our teen, like high school maybe.
Yeah.
So.
Girls. Things happen.
Yeah.
I remember one cartoon I almost left off, and that was Transformers, but when they're dinosaurs, the 3D one.
Oh yeah, which if you look back, that 3D is horrible, but
it looked great when I was a kid.
Like I remember waking up early before school because it was. There we should be good. It somehow disconnected.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. We good now, guys?
Oh, you see the chat right there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I hope.
Oh yeah, you left me. I see myself actually.
Okay. So should be good.
I remember the guy telling me, he's like.
I'm sure they gotta say it over because they probably didn't hear.
Oh, okay.
It.
When I first went to a comic book store, like I said, I don't know if you guys got it, but I was overwhelmed. There was just way too much. There was like 10 different Spider-Man books, and they all had different titles. There was Batman with 4 or 5 different titles, and I just didn't know what to pick. So I went up to the guy, I was like, hey, this is my first time in a comic book store. Technically the second, but I'll talk about that later too. The guy was like, you want a suggestion? He's like, just pick whatever you like. I was like, yeah, man, I like Batman, but... Oh, Batman? No, that's too expensive. Just grab something. Grab whatever you want, man. Grab a book better. Don't grab a comic. I was like, that's not helping me at all. And I remember feeling kind of... The guy was disrespectful. So I remember I just didn't buy anything. I was like, you know what, forget it. I went home. And I was kind of like crying, had my knees on me, and I was just like, and I was thinking, I was like, is this how they're supposed to be?
Okay.
And I was like, nah, I was like, forget it, I won't get into comics. Luckily, I went to eBay, and I showed it several times, and the first book was the first appearance of Carnage. That was really awesome book. I read it and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy my books online, which terrible idea because eBay charges you like $5 shipping plus the cover price of the book.
And it's still broke at the time. So,
Hmm. What was your first experience?
my first experience really getting comics was actually is at a church my parents went to. This guy gave me like a little stack of comics, and it was like Spider Man and I think maybe Superman too. It's hard to remember, but that was the first ones I actually read, and I knew, of course I knew them, but no clue about comics in general. And I was like, oh, they make these every week. Like there's a bunch of stories, and then it's funny because I went to a comic shop. Honestly, the same one he did. We didn't even know each other at the time.
Yeah.
And I went in there, and yeah, the guy was such a dickhead.
What's
Like-
up, Popcorn? How are you doing?
Like, cause I'm looking around, and like, they would get mad if you touched the comics. Cause like I would pick one out and just look through it. Cause I want to see, oh cool, what's all these comics about? It looks cool. These pictures are cool. The art's cool. And then he got mad. He's like, don't bend it, whatever. I'm like, I'm not. Like, just
Told me the same thing and I almost snapped.
like. I mean, as a younger kid, I was terrified. Like, what do I do? What do I do? As an older guy, I would go tell him to go himself. But
Which, the massive comic book haul that I'm about to show in the next few days, I got them. They're all about magic, all about their, I don't want to say stupid game because it looks pretty cool. It's just they're so focused on magic
Magic
that they don't
Gathering.
care about the actual comic books. So I picked up a bunch of 50-cent books, 50 cents, and I was like just stacking. I was like, ooh, key, love this book. And you know what? That's fine. Like, they treated me like crap, and to this day they still treat people who want to buy comic books like crap. There was a guy, he said it was first time, and he was like, oh, he mistakenly said that he remembers he saw the Hulk versus Batman. I kind of laugh now that I think about it, but I would never have been like, he looked down and he's like, if you don't know about comics, why are you here? I was like, dude, you don't have to be a dick about it.
Yeah, it got to the point where the Magic the Gathering thing was taken over, where you can't go to check out the comic books because their tables are in the way, and then they get mad if you walk past them. So it's like, you know what?
Yeah.
What was cool is because of their, being jerks, he overheard about the comic book shop that we go to now, which is Comic Bug. Which
Yeah.
is a great comic book shop, because they were saying we can't do things like them because they have the space. So instantly he was like, boom, I'm going over there, and then he hit me up and told me about it. So,
I was like, dude, you gotta hit this up. Like, this place is amazing. It's near the damn beach, and it's really clean. There's no spiders coming out of nowhere.
and
Which we're gonna do a tour of that comic book place. The guy's known me for a couple years. He's really cool, really awesome guy. Does so much for the comic book community.
Now if you go to conventions, you most likely see them on the table.
Yeah.
So
The way my comic book collecting has changed is I'm definitely more into I still like my modern books, but I've gotten slowly more into bronze, silver. I collected my first golden age recently, and it's all thanks to the community. Which C. Woodard, he told me about the Jock art book. Silver Age Dave always shows those awesome Silver Age books. You got Menarog, very knowledgeable in those, everything there is about Bronze Age and older books. He's gonna be learning about them.
yeah, I mean, honestly, when it comes to like learning about a lot of those books and the rarity or the price or just stuff like that, I'm not too knowledgeable about it. But
See, Woodard, I did get it. I actually got it. It's a really awesome book. He told me to get a Jock art book, and found it on Amazon, and it's really cool. He loves art.
Yeah, so I'm like that. Like a lot of times, I'll just pick a book up because it looks great, and then if the story's cool, I'll read it all the way through. But like I said in the last live stream, I kind of stay away from DC and Marvel nowadays, just because how they're doing their characters and everything like that. And I mean, I'm a strong believer in like don't change the old characters. You can make new ones, but don't
Yeah.
change the old ones. And so I'm reading a lot of dark like Image comics and everything like that. Just the random stories from like unknown artists or something like that, because you gotta support those people too. And sometimes their stories are pretty badass.
Yeah, they are. Which, that's something I want to talk about. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but when it comes to new comics, so many variants, and sometimes stores raising the prices on regular books where they hold them back and realize those are hot books, and say, nope, marking this up before it even goes on sale. How do you guys feel about that? How do you feel about that?
Well, the whole marking up thing. I know they want to compete with the prices online, which is great, but I think for the customers that actually take the time to come into the store and buy your product and talk to you, they should have the regular price of whatever it is, whether it's $3.99, $4.99, whatever the regular price is. Now, if they want to go sell it online for $15 or whatever they're outrageously blowing the price up to, then that's fine. But for your customers that's actually coming in, I mean, give them the regular price at least.
Yeah.
Did it fucking freeze?
I disappeared into the screen. It did. Wait, is the actual phone freezing or?
I don't know. It's froze over here. It doesn't say reconnect. How's?
No. Oh, it froze there too?
Yeah.
Oh crap.
So I don't think they can hear us. Time's still going. They can hear us though. Complain.
Oh really?
Yeah.
They said something or what?
Thanks, Seawood, for letting us know.
Oh okay.
But
So,
okay,
that's really...
it's back on now.
Oh, okay.
That's weird though. I don't know what's going
I don't
on.
know what's going on with the connection. I promise I paid for my bill. Maybe somebody's stealing. Maybe somebody's stealing my signal.
It's on the phone.
I don't know. It's a stream.
It's still fucking.
It's only our second time streaming. The whole thing with it's good. Huh? DC B covers, I love them. What I really love the most is they have a cover price on them. There's no such thing as, oh, you get this variant for $50 or $60. While Marvel, man, which, Matt, you know what? You have a real issue with, you know what? I'm just going to let him go on a rant about Marvel first before I speak about Marvel.
Well, they know. Well, I've mentioned it, whether it cut out or not. But my thing is like you change the character that pisses me off. Whether you want diversity in superheroes, whatsoever. This is even Stan Lee quoted, "Don't change the heroes, create new ones." I mean, because the heroes that they're changing is what made the company so great, and what people grew up with as heroes who looked up to them. Yeah. Like back, like how we talked about before, the female Thor. People looked at Thor, they were his hero. And if I feel like since the female version didn't do that great, they gave her cancer and killed her off. Basically, I mean,
kill her off.
You know what I mean? I mean, they have to find a way to fix their mistakes if something goes wrong. But I feel like if they didn't change stuff that much, then there wouldn't be no mistakes.
Oh yeah, they could all hear us. I'm looking for a good DCB cover. Yeah, you know what, Seawater? When it comes to the B covers, man, I love them, but I've kind of learned to just kind of take a step back just because there's so many great DCB variants, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to put aside 3 of these for this week, 3 of these for next week, and it still adds up. Because if you try to do all 20, 30 modern books every week, it's just too overwhelming.
When you run out of money, or you run out of space, or whatnot, which he's running out of
A and B. But,
I can look over here to the right and see his boxes of comics.
Look straight, look to right, look to left, look everywhere.
It's the first thing you see when you walk through the door.
If there's ever an earthquake, oh, my comic saved me. The whole New Heroes thing doesn't bother me so much. You see the same thing. Like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern. Yeah, You know, I heard a lot about. I never, like I said, I didn't read comics in the '90s, and I heard that there was a lot of bad ideas in the '90s.
Yeah, but yeah, for me right now, it is bothering me. But like, I'm not like saying, oh, I hate Marvel or whatever because they're doing this. No, I'm still a fan, but I'm just maybe it pushed me to go see other comics now and other distributors and see their stories, and that's probably a good thing in the end. Because I'm still a fan of Marvel, still a fan of DC. I'm always going to be a fan of theirs, but now I have this other comic that just came out that's only like 5 issues long, but man, that was an awesome comic, you know?
A lot of artists. Yeah, yeah. You know what? That's I have to agree with Airborne. If you love the artist or if you're a huge fan of that specific cover just for the artwork,
Oh yeah.
go for it. I've done that a couple times. But if I see a lot where I see 6 of them are really good, I'm gonna narrow it down to 3 where I'm like, okay, I really want these, and those I'll find them at some point later in my life.
Let's see. What image books have we been reading? Let's see. The last. He just. I don't know if it's image or not. I can't remember. It might be Dark Horse or something. But God Country. He told me about.
God Country. That one's been out for a while.
It's been out for a while, but I just read it. I'm still a little bit behind just because I'm short on time sometimes for reading comics. So I try to keep up, but it's not like him.
I have a lot of books.
Yeah.
I have issues. Literally. There was an image book that I just pre-ordered. What is it? I think is it Image or is it Vertigo? I think it's called Pearl. Pearl. I can't remember. I just remember that I heard it was about a tattoo artist who has like a certain power, and so like the mafia has her in control. But I'm like, why would you not use your powers? I haven't read the book. I have to go pick it up at my LCS. I remember one of the. I've been reading Monstrous. Monstrous is a really good book. If you guys have not read that, I really recommend that book. It's been going on for a while now. The first issue, for whatever reason, is getting a little pricey. It's like $40 right now. I don't know why. But
this is why I don't buy issues. I wait till they come out with the whole book, and then I buy them for like $10, so they're $20. So.
I remember there was a Fuck Fairyland, which the first 10 issues were hilarious. It was nonstop.
It's funny too because when we didn't have the comic book shop, we saw that, and we were like, well, at first we were like, whatever, but then we saw one that actually said, oh, fuck Fairyland, and we were like, oh, okay, this sounds a lot better.
Yeah. God Country, yeah, God Country is really good. I'm gonna preach this book every time I can, and that is Tokyo Ghost.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, from the art to the story, everything is just definitely you got to be that one.
And it's something that I see that we definitely could be heading towards, or we're just so stuck on the media, watching commercials, funny commercials. They have to be this dude, for whatever he is, has nonstop funny shows and porn. That's all he watches.
Like he's hooked up to a machine where he doesn't have to leave because it feeds him. Like he has
there's
things hooked
shit
up where
for
he
you
just
to-
uses the bathroom or whatever else goes on. But I mean,
yeah, Sean Murphy's art, man. I've always thought that it's a very specific, or you could tell right away that it's his. But I don't think he got enough credit until Batman White Knight, which is another great story that he even wrote himself and did the art himself. I don't think you've read it, right?
I don't know.
I told him about the whole Harley Quinn where finally they said, you know what? That's not the real Harley Quinn. That's just a girl who dresses up like a whore, I think they said in the book.
Which I can agree with.
And then you got the classic Harley Quinn with the red and black and the makeup, which I thought that was just such an amazing, awesome twist. Where I was glad they said it. Like, Sean Murphy probably said, like, no, this is not the real Harley Quinn.
What up, the boy who had 7?
The boy who had 7, what's up, man? This is the Irishman?
Yep.
The boy who had 7, he had 7 kids.
Congratulations.
Hey, man, props to you, man. I'm on number 2. So we're talking right now about how do people feel about variants?
It's a everyone's zombie tramp is a great one too. You know, that sounds familiar. I haven't read it, but I've probably seen it somewhere.
I've seen Zombie Tramp. I remember I saw the cover and I was like, I kind of skipped it. It's a chick who she's like a zombie, but her boobs are just hanging right there.
Yeah, then I'm pretty sure I've seen it if that is the case.
One thing when it comes to Marvel that really bugs me right now is every time they bring out a #1 or they bring out a special event. Fantastic Four, for instance. Perfect example. I know they bring more pages to it, but when they brought it back, it was, what is it? $5.99, $6.99, and I was like, oh man, do I want to reach in my pocket for that?
You know you did.
No, I used some of my comic book points and got that bad boy for $3.
He still got it.
I thought I got it for $3. That's a principle. Have you read the Wait? You know what? I've collected the first 3 issues. I find them in the dollar bin, so I want to collect the entire run before I actually read the whole thing. I heard it's really good.
Yeah, 7 too many variants and too high prices. Exactly.
Yes.
You know what I hated too is when they started changing the art and the cover to cosplayers.
Yeah.
That pissed me off to a new level. Which shouldn't have pissed me off that much, but it did because the art is what brings people in. I mean, I have a whole thing with cosplayers too, which is great. I mean, cosplay, I love cosplay. I mean, I'll do it, other people do it, but like, even at conventions, like, they will stand in the middle and block your damn way. Like, I'm just trying to get the artist alley. Can you move before my elbow goes in your face? But to put them on the front cover, I think that's a little too much because, I mean, I want to see some badass art from some artists. I mean, especially when it's like DC and Marvel, you know they have great artists out there that are just wasted when you take a picture of a cosplayer.
It's kind of, for instance, Spider-Man 800, I believe there's like 30-something variants where I was like...
Jesus, really?
Yeah, the cover price alone for one book was $10, and don't get me wrong, it was a solid story, but I was like, man, $10, and if you want a variant, I got a pretty... Eddie Granov, I think, was the variant. I got it for like $20. I was like, okay, that's fine, but when you think about the cover being $10 already, I don't like that Batman jumped into that bandwagon for Batman 50. I think they had like 20-something, 30-something variants.
Oh god.
Which I hope some of them go to $1 because they were cool.
Like,
They had some good art covers.
Yeah, variants are cool. Don't get me wrong. I love it, especially other artists doing the cover.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think there should only be a couple, maybe 5 at most. I mean, they go outrageous with this, and like, at a certain part of you, if you're a fan of art, kind of wants to collect it, but at a certain point, you're like, I can't afford this. And for the same book over and over.
Airborne said, I agree, Airborne. I don't mind, talking to the cosplayers. I love recording them, but I don't want them in my comic. And I don't know if you guys saw I'm sure you guys saw it. Some of you have it in your hall. The Vampirella. There was Adam Hughes. There was another one. She's in a red in a bed, but the sheets look like satin sheets, red sheets with roses. That's art I want on my cover. I don't want a chick cosplaying. No offense, no disrespect to them, but
I mean, come on, cosplayers basically you show your tits and you get views. I mean, like, no offense to them and all. Some of them actually put amazing work into the costumes and do an amazing job. And some of them do the bare minimum. They just have double D's, and they get the likes. They get the can I take a picture with you and all that stuff. I mean,
see, Woodard, I agree. The whole store variants, and you have the online variants, because you see a book sometimes that somebody shows, and you're like, wait, when did that come out? And then you have to start looking online through various different websites, and
by then the prices are rejected more.
It's just too much to handle. So that's what kind of drove me a little bit more towards the Bronze Age. I'm still buying the new books, but I'm starting to read some of the older books, which I've become a big fan of.
I would rarely buy an issue of comic unless I really love the cover art. Otherwise, I wait till like the story's over with. I could buy like $10 for the whole
trade.
Trade paperback. So I mean, like,
Which even then they have sales on and you still get the trades really cheap.
Oh yeah, because a lot of comic shops 40% off, whatever, 50% off. It's like hell yeah, $5 for what 7 issues.
One of the books that I thought was cool, I can't remember who wrote it, and that was Die Die Die. There was a comic where, so people now at this point, there's so many different websites to know what books you're gonna get next. There was a book where it's called Die Die Die. Never came out. Nobody knew about it. They just shipped it to comic book stores and said, "Bam, here you go." And so people saw it and like, wait, where did this come from? Like, I didn't even know this was coming out. And
Keep talking.
yeah, so I thought that was actually pretty fun. Like, if you do something like that once in a while, I'm okay with that. Doing a variant once in a while, I think Metarog or Silver Age Day, I can't remember who said it, but they were saying that variants used to mean something. It used to tell you, like, this is gonna be a big book. Now it's every book has a variant. I'm a sucker for Venom books, but I try to stay away from them because it's Venom. I mean, how could you make that guy look terrible?
You'd be surprised. Thanks, Steve, with the heads up. In stock trades is great for cheap trades. So I mean,
Yeah,
I didn't know about that. So
I found out about it recently. Yeah,
that's
it's
free.
like
It's free, you know? Well, it's free.
that was a few days ago.
You know, see when you're better friend than him. Good friend would text me right away. Hey, bro. I mean, get some cheap trades over here.
I was watching the
Fuck you, John.
the room tour of Gemmint, which if you ever see that room tour, it's so many omnibus books. It's an amazing collection, but he always talks about how InStock Trades is a website he goes to, and then I finally looked it up a couple days ago, and you get good deals right there. Yeah, Metro does have a great video on variants, and I don't. Oh, actually, he has a really good one about the Bronze Age and the price difference of 30 and 35 cents.
42% off, man. You are a crappy friend.
I just don't want him to get sucked into the whole collecting like I do. I'm a great friend.
No, I'm just not weak. Continue on how you spend too much money.
No, that's one thing I've learned from everybody in YouTube is you don't have to just buy everything cover price. If you go out there, put in the work, you definitely find the books cheap, especially when you have a really rude owner who refuses to look at his books and just stares at his magic cards like, ooh, look at my magic cards.
I almost wanted to say the name because this is a...
Don't screw that place. I will never. So one thing
It's funny because it's actually a well-known comic book shop, and I believe his house is actually well known for the decorations.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know. So I found out they had a second store, but I was like, that's not the point. But I always go there now just to come up on their books. For whatever reason, they still buy books, but they don't even look them up online or look them up. If they're modern, 50 cent bin. It's modern, doesn't matter.
See, I go there because when I order Domino's pizza, it's right next door, and I need to wait that 10 minutes. So I walk in there and just like look around or make them think I'm, fucking up the comics because they're fixed.
They agree on whether to buy something or leave.
Exactly. Oh, there's a plushie. Oh, thanks.
Which, you know what? Here's my rule where I've now I'm okay. If they want to jack up the prices on books before they even put them on the wall, that's fine. But I'm not going to feel bad if I find a $100 book for 50 cents. I'm not going to say, hey, you have for instance, I know I have it somewhere here. Okay. This is 50 cents. I'm not going to tell you this is probably like $40, $50. I'm just going to walk away and be like, put a bunch of books here, charge. $2, cool. Alright, I'm okay with that. It's fair game to me at a shop. If you guys want to overcharge for certain books, we have the right to go hunting and basically finding deals.
It might as well be a card shop because they really don't care about the comics.
Yeah, but if I show them Magic cards, maybe they'll start drooling over it.
Maybe, yeah.
One thing I remember, I recommend for, especially for like new collectors, say for instance, comic bags. I know you're a little bit younger. It would be hit up yard sales. Don't never be, or even a swap meet, which I think for some of you guys call it the flea market.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a flea market, but we call swap meet out here.
Yeah.
There's people who just buy a bunch of books and they don't even care, just trying to get rid of it. They know they can make some quick money.
Or go on Craigslist like he did and asked me to go with him so he didn't get raped.
So this is my bodyguard when I use Craigslist. I'm like, Matt, let's go. I need some backup. Because you never know. Craigslist, it's cool.
It's questionable. I mean, no,
but you never know what you're going to walk
it's not
into.
always safe, yeah.
Now, if you're going with 2, 3 people, maybe leave one in the car. At that point, they start thinking, okay, they came in with a group, just let it all be.
Yeah, see what antique stores, you can find some good stuff there too. I mean, especially if they don't know about comics, I mean, it's even better.
Yeah. They just price them whatever the book is. It'll be $2.99, $3.99. Be like, okay, $4 here, take it.
But then sometimes he was telling me before a story about he went to a yard sale and he looked at these comics he thought were interesting. They weren't any value, he just looked at them because, oh, cool story, whatever.
Yeah.
And she jacked up the price because she thought they were rare or something, even though they weren't in that great a condition or anything like that. So you also get those kind of people where it's like, oh, these might be rare, he's gonna rip me off, so I'm just gonna put a high price on it and see what happens.
Yeah, one thing I learned that the community told me is that if you ever go to yard sales or anything like that and they ask you what are you looking for, just say you love the artwork. That's it. Because apparently these people will also be on the look at it. You get very specific. They're like, okay, well, we'll know what you're looking for and we'll put it on the side for us.
Matilda, you didn't get a notice for the stream. I don't know why. YouTube hates us.
The boy who had 7, yeah, man, I really recommend you hit up antique shops, Craigslist. Like I said, it's questionable, but for the most part, it's been okay for me, because I have this guy with me. He's always looking angry, so they're like, let me just back away.
Yeah, just try not to smile when it works out.
There was that one time I think I showed the hall where I found all those great books. I turned my back on the Wolverine one just because it had a couple of dents and I didn't want to pay what it something where it goes for. Where if it was very clean condition, I would have said, yeah, why not? I'll go for it. And then he had Spider-Man 300.
Oh wow, see what's alright,
You gotta let me know, man.
yeah, he said he found an antique store with $3 Silver Age books.
Wow, that's really cheap.
I mean, they really didn't know their stuff.
Well, when I went to the guy in Northridge, we were thinking, I was like, man, I wonder how it is. I was like, Northridge is an okay area. We didn't know the man lived in a mansion.
Oh yeah, he had a couple Mercedes up front, Audi.
Yeah, and so I walked in.
That's funny though. He did give me that look like, why the hell is he here?
Yeah, I was planning to do something with this kid right here. I need a new lung. But the only thing that kind of annoyed me is he told me, oh, this Spider-Man 300's $2,000. That's what it goes for on eBay. Sorry. I was like, first of all, it's not in your mint. Second of all, it's not even slabbed. But I don't want to disrespect the man in his house because I already had a ton of books that were key books, and I was getting a very good deal. And I was like, I'll let him keep on dreaming about that Spider-Man 300.
Alright, boy, 7. We'll still be here. We'll put your kids to sleep. Though you have 7, so I don't know how long it takes.
It's okay. I'll find out in a couple years.
He's gonna have 7 kids.
No.
His wife wants a big family.
Let's See, Woodard, you know what? I have a long box of comics that I bought from that guy, and I bought close to 100 Silver Age books for 50 cents each. He was there.
What the
Captain
rich
America, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was
The Sergeant Fury.
He had a lot of really good books, and he had more in the back that he didn't even show us till the end. But it, like, we were already there for how many hours? Like, we were there for a good amount of time.
Yeah.
Not to mention the drive took like a good.
It's an hour,
You know,
hour and a half
yeah.
to get there.
Yeah.
And then the man, he had really good stories. He seemed to know what he was talking about. He had met all these legends, and he just said 50 cents each book. He's like, you guys seem trustworthy, just... I'm like, yeah, you're still staring at me.
When he looked at the books, I just talked to the guy and we talked about comics basically.
But I was still learning about books, so I just remember seeing the Silver Age books, and I was like, do I even want these 50 cents? I was like, yeah, why not? And I was just stacking up. And then I looked into YouTube, and then the more I stare at those covers, now I just love them. You know, there's Jack Kirby, there's Steranko covers. Some of them are beat up, but I mean, for 50 cents, who would leave Silver Age books for 50 cents? Unless it's like almost torn in half, and that would be a different story.
It's funny too because the guy would tell him about it too as he's picking it. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Which again, like, of course you want to say that's a good one because you want to sell it, but he's legit saying like why it's good because it's only 50 cents. So it's not like he's trying to like jip him out of money. You know?
Yeah, I was like 50 cents. Yeah.
But then yeah, like that was, I would say, rare that you find someone like that who was like, he is a super fan of comics. He was telling us the only reason he's getting rid of it is because he doesn't have any grandsons.
Yeah.
That he has just
He has
granddaughters.
granddaughters who don't give a crap about comics.
Yeah.
And he said, I just want to hand them down to somebody who actually will care about comics and not just resell them or throw them away.
Exactly.
Airborne, are we going to Long Beach Comic Con?
Most likely, yes.
When is Long Beach Comic Con?
It's
Is it September or October?
it's around there. I got an email saying buy your tickets now.
If it's like September
Oh, that's right. I had the
10th or 11th, no. My son's gonna be born he's due September 9th or 10th, which, by the way, he's gonna be my little Wolverine.
Name him Logan.
That's right. Can't go wrong with Logan.
I don't know how he got away with that with his wife.
My wife got to name my first child. I will name my second child.
September 8th to the 9th.
I can't really gamble on my wife's water breaking while I'm shopping for comics because I will not answer my phone.
Are you sure we can't gamble?
I'm positive we can't gamble. But
I guess until he has two kids. Well, he has one kid now, and another one on the way in literally a couple weeks.
yeah, until I have my second child on the way. Airborne, are you gonna be going to Long Beach Comic Con? We've actually for 3 years in a row. We've gone to WonderCon, the Stan Lee Kamikaze Con, which is now
LA Comic Con.
LA Comic Con.
Yeah, and then we.
Comic Con Revolution.
Have you been to Long Beach Comic Con? You haven't been to Long Beach, huh?
I don't think so.
No, I've been to Long Beach Comic Con and the expos. The expo, I mean, it's a lot smaller. If you haven't been, I'd rather go to the con than the expo. And yeah, but those are the ones we usually go to on routine. I mean, if we ever get in San Diego, yeah, of course.
Thank you, Matilda.
Believe me, if he got in San Diego in September, he'd be like, I'm sorry, I can't. Send me a video of my child being born.
Our goal right now is to go to San Diego Comic Con. We just cannot get in there. By the time we click, sold out. So our goal is to get in there somehow.
It's on the bucket list. I mean,
we're gonna have to break in somehow.
seriously.
Oh, so you have catch up to Boy 7, yep.
That's what I told him.
I'm not sure I can catch up to the boy who had 7.
You're still young.
I'm not that young.
Still youngish. With a bad back.
I think if I could take, hopefully my 2 kids will love comics. My son likes trying to help me put away my comics, which
doesn't work out.
Not quite yet. I just keep on handing him the same his 50-cent book that has SpongeBob on it. I'm like, all right, help me again.
The same one over.
So right when he puts the comic book back, I grab it, run back, grab a stack, and I'm like, oh, here. Here's your comic. Oh, thank you. He goes running back to helping me. That poor book is destroyed. But you know what? SpongeBob has carried me through.
Yeah, everyone. It's what's cool about San Diego. If you get in, if you're lucky enough to buy a ticket, then I think every year after you get first dibs on buying tickets. Because one of our buddies, he got in one time, and now every year he has first dibs, so he can guarantee a ticket afterwards. It's just that first initial time is a pain in the butt.
Which, by the way, I told him in person. I was like, screw you, because he told us this year, hey man, I rented a hotel so we could all go. Because he had told us about the previous year that it was awesome. And I was like, cool. Click.
Can you get it?
Couldn't get it. He's like, oh man. Oh well, I'll go have fun. He was like, it was a blast. You guys missed out. Or I was like, no, screw you, really. Forget it. Don't talk to me right now.
Oh, everyone, sorry to hear about the car accident. Hope everything's okay and you're not injured. I mean,
Yeah.
tickets aren't worth it if as long as you're okay.
Yeah, things happen, man. Like, it's unfortunate events, I guess.
I mean, like my bucket list, I still need San Diego Comic Con. I've been to E3 consecutively for several years. Trying to get him in this year.
I don't want to talk about it.
We took his badge, which is not his.
My name was Pablo Ramirez. No, it wasn't. I forgot what my name was.
No, it's funny because my friend's name was Johnny, but the last name is different. And they're like, "Oh, can I see your ID?" The one time they asked for ID to check with the badge, out of all the years I've been to E3,
They said, no. Think.
and I was
I was
like,
like, my soul just got ripped out. At this point, it's no longer on my bucket list. I just threw that bucket out the window.
well, because like he E3 you can get in now. They sell passes to the public. Before it wasn't, but I get
Yes, Matilda, it sucked.
but I get an industry pass, so I had industry pass and an extra one with my friend who didn't go that day, so I tried to get him in and it didn't quite work out.
It's okay. I got a feel for the fans and everything. I still got a gift card from PlayStation out there. Like, here you go, sir. Here you go. I was like, oh, thank you. I don't know what the bear has to do with PlayStation, but there's a bear handing out PlayStation discount cards.
I said he missed it a couple years ago. And I saw that was my clothes shopping right there. Nintendo, here's a free shirt. Freaking Xbox, free shirt. Everything, shirt.
One con that I do want to recommend, even though it's not about comics, Anime Expo.
Oh yeah, like
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. It's a whole different vibe from comics, but it's still so much fun. They actually bring bands from Japan to play the music from the actual anime intros. If you look it up online, you see the concerts. Man, they go all out. You see all these people just like ah.
Like I gotta tell you, when you go to conventions, especially bigger conventions, and you want the whole experience, look for after parties. Like whether it's San Diego, even like maybe LA Comic Con, Anime Con. If you like just search for after parties or after events, there's usually something. And a lot of times you get it for free, and a lot of times open bar.
He's gone to a lot of open bars. He's actually really lucky because whether it's E3 or whatever it is he's gone to, he's been fortunate enough to go to open bars. I, on the other hand, have not.
Until the E3, the Cringe Fest one. Well, it's definitely like a comic convention where people stink, but it's all video games, so you get to play and test, check out new games that aren't released yet that are coming within a year or 2 years or so like that. It's a video game convention, and before it wasn't open to the public. You had to be an industry person, so I had industry pass to get in. And it was really cool. It was a good experience. It was fun. Now that they opened to the public, a lot of industry people are mad, and several of them pulled out because it was a professional event, but people saw it as I want to play games before anybody else.
Went to the after party. We'll have to do that. You should, man.
Yeah, like it's surprising. Like if even for like E3, let's say like this year's E3, me and my friends we went across the LA Convention Center and
oh, I forgot what the bar was, but they gave it was free food and free drinks. And the food was amazing, free drinks. They had a couple of, I guess, professional basketball, football players there. They were playing Dragon Ball Fighters or Fighter Z, and
Great game.
they were giving out free Razer phones and stuff randomly. So I mean, like, if you won one, it was great. But the after parties, I mean, you see like different musicians and famous ones too. That like, again, I don't care too much about it, but like, hey, it's all free. You might as well check it out, you know.
There's one thing I did want to talk about real quick, and that was I know some people get mad when, whether it's old famous people or used to be famous, or comic book writers, artists, when they charge for a signature. I think I'm okay with it. The only reason I'm okay with it is because I've heard so many stories, and I've seen it once, where somebody will bring a stack of books like this and just be like, "How much is it? It's free? Sign them all." I'm like, dude, that's kind of rude.
Yeah, like I feel when it's something like that, then definitely charge.
Yeah.
Like, when we met Jason Aaron at Comic Con Revolutions,
He was tired.
he was tired. It was, I mean, I'm still a big fan. He's still a big fan, but yeah, it wasn't what we expected. But to have him sign something, no, I bought one of his books so he can sign that. You know, I'm not just having him sign a bunch of stuff, but he was still cool signing other stuff.
Which I want. There's another person we met that day. He seemed okay, but he seemed frustrated, irritated. I don't know if I'm gonna mention his name.
Don't mention his name.
I
'cause,
won't. I
like,
won't. Yeah, you know what? I don't
my
want to get him
friend-
in trouble or anything like that.
He's a really well-known comic book artist, and he's a
He's
friend of
pretty
mine.
big.
He's a friend of a good friend of mine, and it was just.
Dude, the guy was like, he looked at us and he didn't make like he wasn't a dick or anything. He was like, "Hey, what's up, guys?"
No, he's really nice. He's really
Yeah,
nice,
he,
really
he
cool.
was still cool.
He was just like dead tired.
He looked like they put him in. They didn't even put him in the artist alley. They put him in some corner where next to him they were selling hats. I don't know why they put him there, but this guy, he looked irritated. He looked pissed, and he opened a flask, put it in his Coke, mixed it in, and he was like,
I want to get through today.
and just chugged it, no face, no, just chugged a big chunk. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, is this guy okay? You see, met Jason too. He was, you know what? When we met Jason, he was really cool. We talked to him. There was no line for whatever. Maybe in the West
Well,
Coast,
no.
he's not known as much.
Well, there was a line in the beginning, but it kind of died down real fast. Like it wasn't. It didn't stay for a long time.
You know what? I know why. It's because Claremont was there from X-Men.
That's true. They did have a lot of other special guests that were very popular and famous. They had the voice actors for Batman Beyond. They had, which was packed. I mean,
I loved it because I got there with my Batman shirt, the Batman animated series shirt, and this guy tells me, "Oh, cool shirt," and I was like, "Oh, thank you. Are you gonna go to the panel? What panel? We're gonna have the cast of Batman." Dude, I'm there. Tell me where.
like we just walked in the door, so we
Yeah.
like
Right away, we're greeted. The guy's telling, really cool guy. I don't know who he was to this day.
I think he just worked for the convention. Helped set it
Yeah,
up
maybe
and
PR or
stuff.
something. But when we met Kevin Conroy, I closed my eyes for a couple of seconds. All you hear is Bruce Wayne. Tell me that's not Bruce Wayne.
That sounds when I close my eyes, I just imagine.
That sounds creepy, but I was like, that's Bruce Wayne. I need to talk to Bruce Wayne.
Like he didn't have his phone on him, so he's over there telling me, "Take a picture of him, take a picture of him."
I was like, please. That's one of my. I'm a big fan of Kevin Conroy. The cast overall, and I feel bad because Robin, nobody was asking for his
Oh
autograph.
yeah, no one talks to her on.
I asked for Poison Ivy's autograph, and I don't know why I thought it was gonna be like $10. She was like 30, 35.
Oh yeah, it was pricey. But I mean, don't get me wrong, we should do because when we saw the Black Power Ranger, when we met him, the original one, he charged like $30-$40 too for a picture.
Needs more buzz and drugs. Yeah. Yeah, like you said, that guy, he's a big artist, big known artist. But I can't blame him. He's told me many times he's a really cool guy. Even when he saw us, he didn't say like, "What do you guys want?" He was just like, "Hey, how are you guys doing?" And then he looked at somebody that he knew, and just kind of like shook his head, like like, man, this is the worst place they put me in location.
He basically just said he's like,
Chugging this
he's like, I
whiskey.
want this to be over with.
Yeah, which, you know what? I understand, but I love that he was still.
With this guy, you will see. I mean, if it was a convention around LA and stuff like that, he's there,
Yeah.
and he's an awesome artist, and he does a lot.
Yeah. One guy I got to meet, not this year, but previously, and he knows, I cannot remember the guy's name, but he was the Black Power Ranger.
Oh yeah, there's
Zach. I'm gonna call him Zach.
There we go.
He was really cool. Missing a finger, by the way.
Yeah.
If you see his hand, it's like this, missing a finger. And he was talking about how it was so much fun, even though they got paid minimum wage to be the Power Rangers.
I don't think it's minimum wage.
I think it was less.
Yeah, because I think they said they would have made more money doing a minimum wage job.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, he charged again, like I said, $30-$40 for a picture. But for them, I can honestly understand because they don't have art to sell. They don't have the comic books. They just have themselves as if you're a fan to them. So when it comes to actors or voice actors or whatever, then I can see it definitely because nowadays around here you'll see voice actors for Overwatch go around conventions and they charge too for a picture or whatnot.
Which is fine, because the way they did those actors, they said, you know what? We're going to get other actors and just kick you guys out.
Until I'll bring us some alcohol. There you go. Until they're like, I'm a huge fan. Here's a shot.
You know what? If I were one of the creators and you bring me a shot, I would say, thank you. Why not?
That's right. Well, I'll have it where you have to take one with me.
Yeah, I mean, cons are really fun, but that's a different subject where there's so many things that happen. Somebody blew their disgusting breath behind me because they wanted me to move, and I remember I turned around so mad, and all of a sudden
they blew in his ear. He got pissed off. Like
somebody blew in my ear.
He looked around for to look at me like, did that just happen? Like, did they just blow in my ear?
All because they were cosplaying. They're more important people.
Yeah, no, it was at Anime Expo. I remember it was an artist alley, and it was already crowded, like literally like elbows up to get by. You gotta do that, and then they stop in the middle cosplay, and that's why I have an issue with that too, because you're blocking traffic, and plus the people in artist alley, they're trying to make money. That's for some of them that's their living. So like get out of their way.
They're just making it rain on them because of. If you guys think the artist alley for big cons are crazy at Comic Cons, if you ever go to E3 and go to one of their cons or the artist alley.
E3 doesn't have artist alley.
I mean E3, Anime Expo. If you guys ever go there, it is brutal to walk through there. Do not ever take your kids there. Don't take a 5-year-old. Don't take a 7-year-old. Somebody will push your child on purpose, and you will want to punch somebody.
No, yeah, you will get trampled like pretty bad, but artist alley though. I mean, I feel like those people, they're trying to make money. Don't block their table. Don't block traffic because that could cost them the sell. And
That costs money to get a table there.
it does. I think Anime Expo is like $400 for artist alley. Which, don't get me wrong, they make a shit ton of money there.
Yeah. So we're gonna wrap it up. But next time, one thing we want to talk about is, well, you guys let us know what you guys want us to talk about. But one thing we're thinking about is there's a lot of people that don't know about DC animated series or animated movies, and we definitely want to push out some DC animated movies that people should watch. Because even though there are a lot of people that are not big DC fans, I do recommend you guys watch DC animated movies. They're amazing.
It's wheelchair friendly. Some cons, yes. Some, but I mean, the great thing about wheelchairs, I would say at cons, is just run the people over. They have no problem doing that. So I mean, if you have a wheelchair, then like go on for, because they should really be aware of the surroundings and watch out for someone who's in a wheelchair. But if they don't and they just want to be in your way, nudge them out of the way. I mean.
What's up, Undisputed Frost?
But let's say if you're an anime fan and you go to Anime Expo, that's very, very crowded. So you will be going slowly through that crowd.
at that point, there's something that someone told me as a joke, but I took it seriously. And they said I had a stroller, and basically the guy told me, he's like, dude, you should put like some grinders on each side of the stroller. And I was like, you're onto something. I'm gonna put some grinders on the side of my stroller and just mow people down. No, but E3, it's pretty.
Not E3.
Oh, E3.
Anime Expo.
Anime
He's still
Expo.
upset about E3.
I'm gonna be having some issues about that for a while. But Anime Expo, it's brutal just to walk through. Just to walk through anywhere, it's crazy crowded. I really recommend you guys to go check that out just to have a feel for how it is. If you think there's a lot of cosplay and like Comic Con and all that, go to Anime Expo.
Yeah. But,
And there's some amazing cosplay right there.
yeah, but I mean, other than that, like, I don't know if you guys are into anime or what.
I think she likes my idea of putting the grinder. Don't put a grinder.
But I know if you guys live in California, there's all kinds of conventions you can go to. Like there is a lot of
There
conventions.
seems to be one almost every week. In
Whether you
California.
live up north or south or inland, wherever, there's conventions everywhere. I mean, other states you might struggle a bit, not too many, but
There's one that Bueller was talking about that's coming up pretty soon. I would like to hit that one up, not this year, but hopefully next year. And there's a couple up in Northern California, in San Francisco specifically. I want to hit it up. I've told them about it, and we're game. We just one thing we want to do is start recording like different comic book stores, except for the one where they're just dicks to us. I'm definitely gonna show first is my LCS, our LCS, that you get to meet Mike, really awesome guy, knowledgeable. Ignore the ponytail that he has right now.
he has a ponytail.
He has a ponytail.
I mean,
really
I know he had long
He has
hair,
long
but,
hair,
like,
but he said because of the heat, he starts sweating. He has a ponytail. So, yeah, like I said, next time, let us know what you guys want us to talk about. One thing we do want to talk about, like I said, is DC animated movies. I think they are very underappreciated.
I don't think they're underappreciated. I just think they're
Not enough people know about them.
yeah, not enough people know about them because, I mean, they're really good. All of them, I think, are really good. But you think about that, and you're like, DC comics are better than anime series, the anime movies or whatever. They're way better than Marvel animated movies.
So, Marvel movies, DC. Marvel cartoons, DC. Completely goes off the scale. But yeah, that's something we want to talk about next time. Is DC animated films that we definitely want to recommend. We'll probably throw in something else just because I definitely love these live chats. Love talking to you guys.
I'm okay. No, it's fun. I mean, especially since you get a good conversation with people. It's nice chatting with you guys.
Yeah. You gotta be good at something. Yeah.
And one day we will find what that is.
I think it's, I don't know, comic books. Comic book hunting. I'm finding out I'm very good at comic book hunting lately. It's not really a power.
He's gonna have the comic book hunter TV show.
Yeah.
He's gonna wear a vest and a badge and everything.
Gonna have that little blinking like, oh, idea.
Kind of like Dog's Bounty Hunter. He's gonna put like a blonde wig on and everything like that.
So I definitely want to thank everybody for joining the chat. Definitely saw more people this time. Bueller, C. Woodard, Matilda, you stuck it all the way through. Awesome.
Sorry about the cutout. I don't know what's wrong with the internet.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Great Legend, he joined us for a little bit. Undisputed Frost, HME3, Comic Bags,
was the guy with 7 kids.
the boy who had 7.
I knew it took forever for him to put the kids to sleep.
No, you know what? I don't blame you. You know what I've noticed? When I put my kids to sleep, I fall asleep. I was like, Yeah, definitely. The first chat, was a test. The second chat, it was it froze a couple of times, but definitely more people joined in, more conversations.
And like I said, we do have the equipment for better quality. It's just
hot.
it's the time and you have the heat because it's hot
It's
here.
summer.
I do have a camera, the computer, he has better internet, so it should be better and better quality. So we'll play around with that later on, maybe
Yeah.
next time. But we're not sure when the next time for the live stream is going to be.
Well, what I was thinking is if we can, if my son's not born yet, we're gonna try to squeeze one more live stream next Monday, and then I might disappear for a while, and definitely gonna and show my son, the little guy, crying, screaming.
Just like his dad.
Yeah, that was me at E3. Still E3.
Still salty about that.
Sorry, guys. Definitely thank you for joining us. Thank you. I want to thank everybody. Any last words? Bye. Well, not bye until I cut it off.
Take
Alright,
care.
guys. Till next time.
Yeah, till next time, guys. It's been fun.